Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Dr. Hawthorn here, and today we are on the second episode of reviewing the bonus exercise. And last time we have tidied up the room. I hope you have tried to make some texturing, do some texturing and coloring to the scene. But anyway, today we will be working on this. In this case, jumping back to the scene, what I will do is just to do basic coloring, and let's start from probably the floor of the room. Let's check which rendering engine we are using. We're using Cycle rendering engine, and if we have the material preview, we have a super white model and the render preview, which is very realistic. It has the denoise on, no lights. So far we don't have any lights, so probably we'll have to add a light to it, and then we will have other stuff. I'm not going to put any light in now. What I will do is to go back to the material preview. I will put the material first. It looks a bit off. It has nothing on because even if I select the floor, it doesn't show except on the outliner is showing. That is because when I did the screenshot for you guys to look at the scene, I turned the overlays off. If you want to have them back, just make sure that you will turn on these two buttons. And sometimes when we are freaking out or when we are just trying to get used to what happened in Blender, by mistake we will shut these two icons off. And in this case, if you just turn them back on, then you will have the normal interface that you are used to. For the floor, I will start from the floor. I'll go to the Material tab, Material Property, and add a new material. I'm taking the reference of one of my classrooms in the university. The floor was pinkish. I'm going to change it to a pinkish color, and as you can see, maybe a bit more red. I will turn it to a little bit more to the side. I'm doing very basic coloring, so I'm not mapping crazy materials on. However, you can also try to put in some other image files just to map it on. I will do more in detail in the eraser on the table, but for the floor, I will just keep it simple. Maybe I will turn on the roughness a bit more rough, and then this, remember to rename it. So I will say it's pink matte. It's a matte paint, pink that maybe I will keep using it in the future. I don't know yet. And then I would choose, I always like to start from smaller things just to give myself more color in the view, and then I will go on to a bigger area. I will pre-create chair, which one of the chairs in the countertop. So and do this chair. One of the chairs in my university is orange in color. You may encounter this selecting the first material, and then I change it to orange, and then it turned out to be the legs, which is because this file, and before I gave it to you, it had some color already. By default, that the first material I had here should belong to the legs of the chair. That's why if I make it orangey, and then it's not changing the seat here to orange, but I'm setting the foot of the chair to orange. Anyway, I can fix it. One of the possibilities is to just remove the rest. If I'm removing this one, I will have the entire chair orangey. However, I also want to change the leg to another color. So I'm going to edit mode and using L to select the entire loop, adding another material that I would probably name it silver matte. That is the color I want to use for the leg, and I will just have to make it a bit metallic with half the roughness, white in color, and assign to the selected face. And now I have the legs of the chair silvery. For the orange, I will rename it as orange matte, just for me to have an easier access later. And then for the other chair, I can use the same. For example, I use the silver for the legs, and then go to the edit mode of this chair, L to select the seat, add another material, and now probably I will have green matte and assign. Let's see. It looks a bit too much. Actually, I'm going to dim it a little bit. To dim a color shade, you can simply use the bar here because whatever color you are using here is very apparently too bright. In this case, I will also reduce the amounts on the grayscale to create a slightly darker shade. And I will say it's green mats. 2 chairs done. Very quick, right? The chair on the far left, I would start from silver, and because I have already this material set up in the viewport in the file, that's why I'm choosing this one. I'm not creating another one. If you keep creating new ones by adding, in the end you will have several or many similar materials. You don't want to do that, and you want to keep in mind that you have already created something similar and you will want to reuse that. Now I have the silver chair. I will go to edit mode, L, to select the seed, add another color, and this time I'm going to take blue or indigo. That's probably will be quite interesting. I would say indigo mats. And now I have a bluish chair. So I have 3 chairs done, and then the table. Now, table, it has 3 parts. First, we have the tabletop. Second, we have the table legs, and then we have the bases of the legs. Apparently, at least we need 3 materials, right? For the first one, I would suggest you to get the legs, and I think they are a bit overlapping the bottom of the bases. So I'm going to lift them up a little bit. Yeah, they are overlapping as you can see here. So I'm going to lift them up a bit and select, let's say, also silver. If I'm taking silver, the entire table is turned silverish because I have only one material here on the panel on the right. So I'm going to take another new material, a new material for the tabletop. I want to make it as the same material as this chair. So I'm going to select this new material slots, go to the panel, set orange and assign. Now the tabletop is orangey, and I can select the bases of the legs, add a new material. I don't have a matte black yet, so I'm going to create a new one, black or darker gray, a very dark gray. Roughness, I push it to the far end. I will say gray matte and assign. After assigning, go back to the object mode. Now I have the table textured, chairs done, floor done. Rubbish bin. Let's say I want the rubbish bin to be, what color am I going to use? I will use brownish. So let me get rid of some of the materials that they are void. Coming back to the bin, I will create one new material. I will make it brownish. So it's orange but turning to a darker shade. Now this is brown, very matte, non-metallic, or I can just have fun to push it to a more metallic look. This is bronze. Let's have this bronze material. Now the entire bin is bronzy, but I want the plastic bag to be a black plastic bag. What I'm doing is to go into the edit mode, use L to select the rubbish bin bag, and create a shiny black shade. Black, shiny. Just push it down to black and assign what I have done here. I have the bronzy bin with black plastic bag on top, but probably I want it to be less rough, so it would be more plastic-like. And then don't forget to rename our material bronze. Then I have what is on the floor almost done. Then I can do the plates. This is a cup from one of the coffee shop. It's purple on the plate and pink on the cup, so I will put purple as purple china. It's purple, less bright, a bit darker. I think it's more or less like this purple. Not very rough, not very shiny, non-metallic. That is purple. Then now I would have the shiny pink for the cup. Pink, yes, more or less like this. It's exactly like this in reality, actually. It's a collection of sakura, pinkish and purple. Then I'm going to color the pencils. I'll have the pencils easy. I'll have black and black just because I'm a bit too tired. But again, if you want to do the original, like the ordinary pencil, you can just select these faces here, change it to yellowish, and then here before the graphite you can use the brownish, not very shiny brownish shade for the core of the pencil, and then graphite you can use the gray. This is the pencil. And the books is easy because I just need to, if I'm not being very specific, the book block can be yellowish, orangey, whatever. I can select the three meshes all at the same time. What I can do is to select the blocks by L using the same, assigning a new material to it, and then I will rename it like slightly something like this. Rough, definitely a bit yellowish, very rough, non-metallic. Then you can see already they are a bit yellowish, except the book cover that I need to have another material. What I will do is to create a new material, or I can reuse the previous ones. But anyway, let's do brown, or let's do brown mattes to have an older book look. So I'm going to change it to brownish shade, a bit rough, not too rough to have the leather back, and non-metallic. Assigning, I have this book done. And then the rest, you can do the same by selecting this, changing it to paper, yellowish paper, adding a new material. Now I'm selecting the skin of the book. To the new material, I assign a new material, maybe just some retro green, so green mattes, in this case green, and turn it darker. The book block is not set as the yellow paper, so I'm going to assign it again. You can see that the book block is yellowish and then the skin is green. The last one, same thing. Block, I will use paper and I will assign them. And the new one, I will take the skin, assign the new material. Probably I will choose perhaps black. I have 3 books already colored. And now the wall, actually, I think they can be of the similar material as the book block. So I'm going to take yellow as well, just to have it very quickly done. And the other side of the wall as well. In this case, the column first, I will set it as yellow, same as the other wall. And then this wall, it takes a bit of the effort because this wall, if you can see it alone, if I want to just see it alone, you see the architecture of this wall is a bit complicated. You don't only have the wall itself, you have also a frame of the window, and you have the window itself. I assume that this I created is the glass. And glass material, we can create a new one. We can use glass. We can name it glass. And then from the surface, I'm not using principal BSDF because there is another one called glass BSDF. And if change this to glass BSDF directly, you see the glass part of the window is already changed to almost transparent. Now it's translucent, and this is because of the roughness. I can reduce the roughness. When I reduce the roughness, you can even see the reflection of the light here. This is how we can quickly create glass material in cycle rendering, of course. If it is the EV rendering, not only the glass but the lights, you have to do special treatment. You have to give them special treatment. Now, for the frame, what I can do is to select the frame and see now, because it's using the second material, and I do have the bronze or I have the silver material. I can change this to silver material, directly assign. And now the frame is in silver color, you see? And here the rest, I assume that I could use the silver color as well, but then I have to do the selection very carefully. Anyway, I'm not doing this now. I will just make the rest of this wall yellowish just to save some time. But of course, all the model can be done in detail. In this case, we have windows, we have the wall, and we have a blind. A blind is usually greenish, a lighter green, not as aggressive as this one, but I can make a yellowish green light green here I put, and green a bit towards yellowish because it's under the sun. Let's say this one, this green. Now we have the blinds, a bit greenish, and this one as well. This is also a blind, so I will take lighter green, and probably this top as well. It's also green. It's the complete set, right? Everything is green. Let's go to the solid mode so I can see better. We have this bottom of the blind also green, and here I have the bottom also green, and the rope of the blind. I have two ropes of the blind. It's difficult to select. Either you can just zoom in to have this exactly selected, or you can go to the outliner to search for it. In this case, yeah, very complicated. I give up. I go to, where is it? If it is the blind, it's here. And I can select the strings. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the strings. Then I will create the string yellow. It's a bit yellowish again, maybe a bit more darker, like this. In this case, string 1, string yellow. String 2 as well. I'll just apply everything without further concern to the same material and go back to the preview. Now I have this done. And then this is something I created with the flowers, but you don't need that here, so just delete it. This green is off. I should use the lighter green. Yeah, like that. Then I have the countertop. Let me focus on the countertop. Basically, I have also the knob and the tab now. If I'm focusing on this, you can see I have the countertop. More or less, I will have a marble top, and then the rest will be light wood color or light brown color. And the sink in silver, what I can do is to take, of course, all of them, going to edit mode. Let me see. This one first. I'm going to take silver. Very straightforward, right? Everything silver. And the knobs, also silver. So these three are done. And then I'm going to the sink. I have three material. And so the last one is the sink. I'm going to give silver to the sink. And here you can see already it's turned silverish. The countertop, which is if you use L, you are going to select everything, but you can also go to the front view to select the faces you want to have a quicker selection. Anyway, this is the second material. I'm going to take, do we have whites? We don't have white, so I will make a new one, just a shiny non-metallic white color. Shiny non-metallic white color for the tabletop, and then for the bottom, it will be the wood. Wood color is lighter brown. I'm creating a new one, light brown. Changing this to light brown, like this. So very quickly, I have the cabinet done. And the handle, I will put silver again. Everything silver. Now I have more or less this done. To the flowers, I will leave the rest for you to do, but the flower, let me remind you how we can perhaps make this vase or this vase into glass. I will create a green glass. Green glass, almost the same as creating a window. We can use the glass BSDF, and now it's a tempered glass. It's not very shiny, it's translucent, and in white color. Sometimes the glass can be green, so I'm changing this to slightly green, which is already very stunning. But I can also reduce the roughness to give a clear clear green glass. And then it's your job to try to color these petals as well as the whiteboard and the controllers. This one, the light switch, I can use string yellow, probably. No, maybe too old. But some of the very old light switch actually look like with this shitty color. So anyway, it's for you to have fun. You can choose whatever color you want. You can also turn on the umbrella. What I will focus now on is the eraser. So the eraser is like this. We have of course, the eraser itself, and also we have the skin of the eraser, right? So what we can do is to select the eraser itself. And then I will choose yellowish, not too yellowish, but maybe yellow paper. So it's slightly yellowish, but it's not completely. And then I will choose the skin of the eraser, this one, to blue, a sky blue, because the normal kind of eraser we can buy in the market is like of this shade and it's shiny, not as rough. And so now I have this. From afar, it doesn't look off. But if it is up close, you might want to do some UV mapping to the eraser, and I will teach you later next time. But for now, I think it is enough. And so this is how we can do basic coloring. I hope you can put some creativity into the video and you can have fun. Also trying to texture the calculator here. And then if we go to the render preview, you can see it looks like this. So let me see. Do we really have no light here? Yeah, I think we have really no light here. Focusing in this room, not very appealing, but anyway, there is another thing that I want to introduce to you, which is very easy and straightforward. And this is very helpful if you're creating a scene like this, like an isometric scene. In this isometric scene, sometimes we need light sources, not only from any light in the scene. For example, in this model, I did not have any light, right? I really did not have any lights, and that's why I'm going to have this glass material changed to another material, which is emission material. We have a shortcut here. We are not using glass BSDF nor principled BSDF, but we are using the emission BSDF. Emission BSDF is above glass BSDF, and emission is, you won't see it probably. Instead, you will have plain light coming in, plain light emitted from this specific phase, and this is emission. So if you are creating something like this, the isometric view, and let me see if I can zoom out for you to see better. Okay. So in this case, you see the lights, it's going out and it's going in, but this will become the only light source of the scene. And you can also boost the power of the light. You can make it brighter, so then your scene will be even lightened up. Or you can change it to yellowish color to give a warmer tone, or a cyberpunk shade to make it purplish, bluish, greenish. Oh, this look a bit spookier. Or red, or back to the warmer lights. This is your choice. You can create a light, you can put in a light or a lamp model here, changing the light bulb into emission, or you can change the window into emitting lights, or you can just use add in the object mode, adding light sources like a point light or the sun or a spotlight or an area light. In this case, if I'm having area lights, let me just reduce the power of this light so you can see better. The area light is not very powerful. Let me just push it to around 70. And as you can see, this is the lights that I have from top down. So everything is from top down and the shadow is very solid on the ground. You can just grab the light around. One of the very exaggerated effect here is if I put the light lower than the height of the wall, you can see that the light is focusing on the table. What is above it, like the whiteboard and the switches, they are not bright. They cannot be seen. It depends on where your area light is, and it will affect how the room is brightened up like this. You can also do rotation to the lights. You can scale up the lights, but be very careful. So now this area light is of 70 power, and because it is that small, and that's why 70 power, it looks very condensed. But if you are increasing the size of this light, for example like this, then you see that the power, which is supposed to be very concentrated, will be loosened up. It will be divided evenly in this stretched square. It depends on how you want it to look in the end. For example, in this case, the entire classroom corner is brightened up with 70 power of the area light and also slightly from the emission of the window, but you don't see a dramatic shadow. You don't see a shadow that you will think that this scene is cinema ready. You can play around with the lights. You can also add in different spotlight and try to just adjust the power of the spotlight and see how they are casting shadow onto the scene. And this is very fun. I hope you can continue with this exercise and you can complete all the texturing. And next time we will come back to do some rendering, different types of rendering. And yeah, just have fun. I hope you enjoy it. See you next time. Bye!